Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Remember, if you love film, gaming, or television content, please consider clicking that subscribe button because it is time to talk about the final film I went to the Brisbane International Film Festival to see, and that is She Said. So, let's get into it. So, a little bit of context here. I did buy tickets to see a screening of Marcel the Shell, but I noticed the special edition 4K for that film was for sale, and as you can see here, it did arrive in the mail before the screening. As I am very tired at this point of taking an hour-long drive every day to watch these films, I decided to kick back and watch Marcel at home, while She Said was the last one I actually went to a theater to go and see.
I need my sleep.
I am very glad I saw this in a theater too, because I think She Said is a truly captivating watch, and I don't think it has received enough credit yet in terms of how well written and captivating this is. I have to say that I think Spotlight is most definitely the benchmark in terms of these investigative journalism films. I love that film, and I don't think we have had another quality film in this genre since. The most recent attempt was Bombshell, which tried to do this kind of style and add some Adam McKay flair to it, and I think it failed in ultimately telling the message it really wanted to. I am so glad to say that She Said joined Spotlight as an excellent addition to the genre. It may not reach those heights as consistently, but I think it definitely holds up and really effectively brings to life the effect that Harvey Weinstein had on these women. This doesn't seem to embellish a whole lot, and I think that really benefits this film in a lot of ways, because what really happened was disgusting and vile enough without having it played up. I think to me what makes She Said really special is the fact the film wants to highlight the importance of speaking up when something like this happens. The film really puts to light how these women had even mustered the bravery enough to come forward at times, and then nothing ever happened. And in that, we see many systemic issues that still live on. Many women were afraid to speak up against this man in such a high position. And it is a shame, because in an ideal world, the person who is doing this kind of wrongdoing should never be in these positions at all. As the Harvey Weinstein case is very infamous now and is still unfolding, I am familiar with what happened, but I still felt like She Said taught me even more about how this trauma has lived with these victims and will never leave, even if the case is resolved. Also, the amount of protection that Weinstein had from ever getting put into the position he is in now was frankly so disgusting. And once again, I am very glad that She Said brought this up.
This is good work.
Now, a common criticism that I've seen is that this film is very dry, and sure, it does not have a sense of style, and the cinematography is as boring as it gets. But honestly, so was Spotlight. These films don't need that element. They purely rely on the strength of their writing and performances, and in both Spotlight's and She Said's case, they are written extremely well. I could have watched this film for another 20 minutes. I was never bored with the 2 hour and 15 minute runtime. I was never thinking about when this would end, and ultimately I was very happy with the moment that decided to conclude this film. Another choice I really loved, which I wouldn't in most circumstances, and it's because the writing is so strong that I do love it. There are scenes of women describing the moments they were abused and exploited by Weinstein, and instead of showing us a scene, the camera would focus on a hallway or a messy bedroom while these stories are happening. I think it is very effective in this case because the writing is so strong that you don't need that imagery. They paint a clear enough picture in your mind, and I think that was really, really effective. Another thing that worked was whenever these journalists approached a woman about Weinstein and you get to see and hear their reactions, it was very upsetting to watch. There was one scene in particular that really hit me hard, where Zoe Kazan's character is calling someone about Weinstein, and as soon as his name is brought up, she instantly starts crying over the phone. That right there shows while Weinstein was someone who was able to do this countless times and probably couldn't even remember everyone he did this to, the victims will live on with this trauma for the rest of their lives. Now, in terms of the performances, I think they're all pretty great, and I honestly think it was probably a layup for the cast because they were given a truly great screenplay. The two leads played by Zoe Kazan and Carey Mulligan are just excellent. This is a career high for Kazan, and I wouldn't be mad if she got Oscar attention. I think Carey Mulligan has a decent chance at a nomination too, and I think she has been on fire lately, as I thought her last performance in Promising Young Woman should have won the Oscar that year. I like her doing these roles about feminism and tackling these themes of unresolved trauma at the hands of abuse. In terms of the supporting performances, they really aren't in the film enough for me to have a definitive opinion on, but I thought in the time that they were given, both Jennifer Ahle was great as this former victim of Weinstein, and Andre Braugher has some great scenes where he doesn't take any shit from Harvey, and they were pretty badass scenes, to be honest. The only thing that I could knock this film for was that I thought it was a little bit of a missed opportunity to not dive a little deeper into both Mulligan's and Kazan's characters. We do get a little bit of that, and I thought it worked really well for the most part, but the film would rather focus its attention on the case, which is fine. I think though what makes Spotlight the very best in its genre is purely the fact that it balances both the case and the personal lives of the characters really well, and to me, that has made Spotlight endlessly rewatchable. I think I could rewatch She Said, but it probably won't be one that I'll rewatch a whole lot. I could also say that there was one scene where a drunk guy hits on the characters in a bar, and the scene turns out exactly how you'd expect. I'm not saying it doesn't happen because I am sure it does, but this kind of scene is kind of turning into a bit of a cliche really quickly, and I really think that this particular scene didn't really need to be in this film. I know this is a potential Oscar player, and I think that will remain the case after more people have seen this film. She Said has a chance of getting nominations in Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and maybe Supporting Actress. I would say Lead, but that looks like it may be the most stacked category this year, so it may be hard for Zoe Kazan to get a nomination, which would be a shame because she was really excellent and deserves all the credit in the world for this. Other than that, it is a little hard to say what this could get nominations for because it is very generic in terms of its cinematography, direction, and editing. I will say the score from Nicholas Britell is noticeable enough to maybe get some attention, but that could be a bit of a stretch. Overall, She Said was an excellent film in my opinion, and if you want to see a little more about the Harvey Weinstein case and how it all broke open, this is a perfect recommendation. I also think that if you love Spotlight, this will be one to look forward to. The performances and the writing are excellent, and I'm surprised that people are a little blasé about this. I think the story was powerful, effective, and in a lot of ways inspiring that these brave women were able to come forward and finally bring justice to so many women who got attacked by this person and were afraid to speak up. I'm going to give She Said a 4.5 out of 5, and I think that this is a must watch. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Tell me in the comments below what your favorite investigative journalism film is. There are a few out there right now, so let me know. The last film in the festival slate, as I mentioned before, is Marcel the Shell, so look forward to that review coming soon. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.